We are not professionals here, but we are unprofessionals. What's up, guys? Chase over here, bring you episode number 2 of the Unprofessional Wrestling Show. And it shows how unprofessional we are because some people who are watching this are probably saying, Chase, what happened to episode number 1? Well, my good co-host over here. Introduce yourself, co-host.
My name is Michael, and I think Sheamus takes it in the butt.
Yeah, he probably does. Like him and Wade Barrett, like they just like have sex back there and all of this stuff. Nah, Wade Barrett, he's one of those guys where like I think he's okay looking, but he gets all these really good looking women. I don't know how he does it. I gotta give Wade Barrett props. Bad News Barrett, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He gets all these good looking women. Look at his current girlfriend. His girlfriend's like some big titted host for a Canadian network A.
That's weird. It's the British charm.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm just surprised that he gets hot chick. Like the ugliest girl he probably dated was Alicia Fox, because I don't find Alicia Fox attractive whatsoever.
It must be the bull hammer in his pants.
Yeah. So, anyways, this co-host over here, when I decided to answer this cell phone because my friend really needed fantasy football advice, instead of trying to entertain you guys with work rate, you have to play theme music. And Michael, never play music again. Because I don't want to. Yes, no copyright strikes on the Chase Oliver channel. I recently got this back. Originally, my first copyright strike that I got from this channel was because I used to do the Total Divas reviews, and I had a picture of a Total Divas, and all of a sudden, WWE thought I was trying to show a full episode on YouTube.
What?
And I'm like, what the fuck? Did you guys not even watch the video? You hear a freaking deep-ass voice that sounds like Bullwinkle, and you hear 2 chicks behind it. How the fuck do you think this is the episode Total Divas? What fucking dumbasses are from working at WWE's YouTube channel. And yeah, I mean it. You guys try to shut this down too, but I don't use thumbnails for these videos, so I don't get what you're saying. So just didn't understand how the fuck they could just take away my right like that. They just deleted my video like that, saying like, oh, you're not allowed to have it. And it seems like maybe Hangouts and YouTube might be okay. Never mind. That's just a thing. It's just buffering. Yeah, if you guys don't know, the Q&A could have been Unprofessional Wrestling Show episode number 2, and this could be episode number 3 because the Q&A, Michael, that was very unprofessional with all the technical difficulties. And I apologize for that, guys. I really do. I try to keep myself somewhat professional, but I can't control what goes on the internet. I can't control Google and tell Google, hey, look, I got a wrestling Q&A to do. So please do not do your updates now. I don't think they give a fuck about my channel. Yeah, I have 2,000 subs, but I think they look at my 2,000 subs and say, they're all wrestling fans, so it doesn't count.
Right.
That's how I feel like they view my channel. They just look at it saying, no, they're wrestling fans. Fuck them. They're allowed to be upset. Who gives a fuck about them? But anyways, Michael, we got some news to cover in the world of professional wrestling. But one of the biggest news, a lot of wrestling fans always get excited for this every year. I'm not one of them, mind you, but a lot of wrestling fans do get excited. It kind of felt like this wasn't as big as normal because normally, I know the release date of this game, but I didn't know. But WWE 2K16 finally came out. If you guys want to know my history when it comes to wrestling games, I haven't played a wrestling game since WWE 13. So really, to be honest, when it came to 2K14 and 2K15, I just based myself off footage. 2K14, I kind of watched on YouTube, but like it was just 30 years of WrestleMania. If I want to go watch that shit, I'll go watch my WrestleMania anthology at the time. There wasn't such thing as a WWE network. So 2K14 didn't really interest me besides watching people try to beat the streak for Undertaker. And then 2K15, if you had the last gen console, looked like a joke. And I almost bought 2K15 last year. But then I said to myself, no, you know what? I will just play it once and that's it. Like, that's what I literally said to myself. I'll just play it once and that's it. You know, I'm not really interested. And to me, what makes me want to buy the game is mostly the roster. If there's a bunch of wrestlers that I like, I want to buy it. And I heard, like, you know, the Shield were still the Shield in game. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you guys couldn't make, you know, the Shield, like, looks different? No, I heard the Shield was still a Shield in the game. Like, Seth Rollins was still part of the Shield. Dean Ambrose was still part of the Shield. And like Bray Wyatt looked like he was like not even Bray Wyatt. It looked like some created wrestler. It looked like they didn't try on any wrestling. But the work rate, Michael, in 2K15, especially in the next gen console, looked really nice.
Oh yeah, totally did. Although I was stuck with the old gen console, and it was like playing 14 all over again. There's no point in getting it.
Yeah. So I'm happy to report that 2K16 I did get for the old consoles. I don't have a new console, guys. Obviously, if you guys see my ghetto ass TV behind me, I can't afford a new console. No, it's not that I can't afford a new console. I just got to get a new TV, and that's pretty much it. And then I can get a new console. But that's called paychecks that need to come in and give Chase money, and that's hard to get sometimes. So I'm not gonna waste a full paycheck just to get an entertainment console for a couple video games. I don't play video games as much as I used to. I play them every once in a while when I get a chance. But 2K16, I played it, and I gotta say, after not playing wrestling games for 3 years, I think this is what I'm gonna do, Michael. Every 3 years, I'm just gonna play a wrestling game because it's so much more refreshing. I'm so like hooked onto the game. Like it's just like, oh my god, I miss how fun this was. Like, oh my god, and like it's always fun finding new ways to do different moves. You're just like, fuck, I can do a move like that. It's just like, oh my god, dude. And this game to me just feels so fluid compared to all the other ones. And it seems like in the new generation, the next gen console, it's doing this. It's kind of at the same level where it's just like a little bit better than last year's game. And to me personally, I love the showcase mode. Like I love it. I think it brings another challenge. It's just like being able to try to face off against Bret Hart, and Bret Hart's reversing everything, but you got to damage him and you got to complete an optional objective to get everything. I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm having a lot of fun with WWE 2K16 at this moment in time. But the one mode that I always love playing, ever since they got it, I was one of the few people that backed up this mode. Everyone else was hating on it, saying, "Hey, we want GM mode back." But I was one of the few fuckers that was saying, "Hey, I love Universe mode. I love WWE Universe mode." What are your thoughts on Universe mode?
Don't get me wrong, I love GM mode, but no, Universe mode has always been amazing. It's always been one of the things that brings me back to getting the game year after year after year. So yeah, I'm glad they put it back in, and especially the crazy things that can happen in Universe mode.
Yes. So Michael, let me tell you what I had to witness. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but apparently comments are disabled for my video, and everyone should know Chase Oliver does not like that.
No.
This is not how Chase Oliver rolls. Chase Oliver loves comments, so I'm gonna have to enable those, but while talking at the same time. So let's see if my work rate is high enough, Michael, if I can do this.
Ooh,
I think I can. But anyway, so I play Universe mode almost all night last night. I almost didn't sleep because it was so enthralling and entertaining. Now, yeah, I enabled live chat. I don't know what's going on. I guess people haven't commented or something. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. But so I was playing Universe mode almost all night. I was enthralled with it. These storylines were absolutely horrendous. Probably worse than what you will see with WWE storylines. I thought they were worse, at least in my personal opinion. But some of them were just absolutely hilarious. So I kept the rosters default. That's what I always do for my first Universe mode, just to kind of test the waters to see what's new, why I should keep playing this mode, and all this other stuff. So I did that. I kept the rosters on default. My opening feud was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins was also my United States Championship, but no, I was like, fuck that. I got to give it to the real U.S. champ, my boy John Cena. So we gave it to John Cena. I gave John Cena the United States title. And all of a sudden, the U.S. title feud overshadowed Seth Rollins and fucking Roman Reigns because The Rock is fighting for the U.S. title.
Okay.
What the fuck? I want to join The Rock Johnson. And so join The Rock Johnson was like my dude. So I'd seen him and The Rock fight for 12 fucking weeks in this long ass feud. So I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And so then afterwards, my filler feud was a 12-week feud between Xavier Woods and the Garbage Man. And I'm just going to say his name so people know who I'm talking about, Eric Rowan. So I was saying to myself, what the fuck is this shit? So I played through week 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I played at Sting versus Fandango. That was like the first match, and for some reason, I said, yeah. I said to myself, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. If WWE were to give Sting a first match back, it probably would be Fandango just for him to win over him and stuff like that, and give Fandango a good rub. So I played that match or some Divas match. So I get to the first rivalry match between Eric Rowan and Xavier Woods, and what happens is, I'm with Eric Rowan. I say, you know what? It makes sense for Eric Rowan to maybe win the first match in this rivalry. So I have Eric Rowan win the first match. All of a sudden afterwards, they're like, whoa, look at this. Nikki Bella comes out clapping. She's clapping for Eric Rowan. And I'm like, what the fuck? I go to the next match. Freaking Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. Cesaro. I was playing as Cesaro because Seth Rollins came out. So I said, oh, it makes sense for Cesaro to win this match. All of a sudden, freaking Roman Reigns beats me with the Samoan drop. Because I didn't know how to kick out at that point of the game. I was like, the fuck is this? I'm like, whatever. I'm fine with Reigns winning. And then we got Cena versus Rock. And John Cena absolutely destroyed The Rock. And in the Raw storylines, they kept on going. Cena and Rock just would not end. I didn't understand why it continued because Cena kept on winning every match until the final pay-per-view match where The Rock finally won the U.S. title. Mm-hmm. And then after that, John Cena literally disappeared. After The Rock beat John Cena for the U.S. title, John Cena was absolutely gone. I did not see him at all in my game until main event in February where he was facing against fucking Fandango. I said to myself, where the hell was John Cena this whole time? Like, I literally checked every show. I was like, no Cena, no Cena. I'm like, what happened to Cena? And stuff like that. And he was like low on the rankings. Like, he was as low as Heath Slater when it came to like #1 contendership for titles and stuff. So John Cena disappeared because he lost to The Rock at WWE Payback 2015 in my universe, but it was really, really weird. And then afterwards, the Eric Rowan and Xavier Woods storyline. Oh my God! Like, so Nikki Bella joined Xavier Woods, and they were like a power couple for weeks. And then it turned out Xavier Woods won the feud. Then Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston part of the New Day feud with the Wyatt family, and then Xavier Woods feud with Luke Harper for 12 weeks. And this time, instead of like Nikki Bella getting involved, they just switched Nikki Bella for Naomi. So I was like saying to myself, what the fuck is this shit? So you pretty much grabbed Xavier Woods and had him feud with the Wyatt family the whole year. This is all the computer, and this is only on the Raw side. And then afterwards, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, obviously it ended with Seth Rollins winning. Reigns did win the belt, but Seth Rollins kept it. Then Seth Rollins feuded with fucking Undertaker, which was pretty cool. Oh. But I gotta get to this funny Undertaker part. This made me laugh so fucking hard out of anything from the Universe Mode last night. So Seth Rollins feuded with the Undertaker. Then afterwards, Seth Rollins loses the belt to Kane. Kane goes on to be like one of my longest reigning champions, destroying everyone in his fucking path. And I thought he was gonna go face Royal Rumble winner Cesaro at WrestleMania, but no. At Fastlane, Kane, who is destroying everyone, loses to Kalisto for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So my main event for my first ever WrestleMania in WWE Universe Mode is Kalisto versus fucking Cesaro. And I'm sitting there to myself saying, what the fuck happened?
That's a lot of work rate, though. Like, that main event, just picture that for a second.
Oh, yeah. And then also, let's continue on and talk about some of the other storylines and feuds, especially my favorite. Do you want to hear SmackDown or NXT side of things first?
Oh, I want to hear NXT side of things.
Okay, so NXT was pretty NXT-ish, my friend. The opening feud, and the thing about NXT in this game, at least for my Universe Mode, they couldn't be on pay-per-views. They only had like their NXT show, and then like the last week before the pay-per-view, I guess there would be takeovers. So I would always edit that last week takeover. Like I was doing it for the first 2 months, and then I said, fuck it, I'm just simulating this anyways and playing a couple matches here or there that are interesting to me in the rivalry. So I'm just going to simulate this stuff. So I would call them takeover names. But Kevin Owens and Finn Balor was the NXT title feud, and the greatest NXT Women's Championship feud of all time. Nothing will ever beat Paige versus Ava Marie. Ava Marie and Paige lasted a full fucking year. Poor Emma's on the roster trying to get a spot, but it doesn't fucking matter because Paige and Eva Marie would always wrestle. And the sad part was, it was like the first part of the feud, it was like Eva Marie versus Paige for the women's championship. But Paige fell so down in the rankings, she couldn't even fight for the women's championship anymore. So they were just feuding just for the fuck of it. They would have Extreme Rules matches. I think they had a steel cage match at one point. It was ridiculous how many fucking gimmick matches they were having. And Eva Marie just kept the championship because I guess Paige was like below Emma as a #1 contender. But poor Emma didn't even get booked on the card. Emma was only on one episode of My Universe Mode. The rest of the time, Paige and Eva Marie dominated NXT. So it was pretty funny watching that. Paige and Eva Marie dominated WWE NXT 2015. And then afterwards, tag team title scene was dominated by the Vaudevillains. No one would beat them. But in the defense there was no fucking tag teams. And so then we go on to the NXT title feud. So afterwards, Finn Balor, pretty much once he loses the NXT championship, he becomes irrelevant. He's like John Cena after losing the U.S. title in my game. He just disappears. Like he's there, but he's not even there at all. He's coming out wearing his demon gear, being a loser and all that stuff, but it doesn't really matter. Kevin Owens is my NXT champion, and he was a champion for a while, and then he got upset by Tyler Breeze. But it was okay because Kevin Owens won it right afterwards. He lost it to Enzo Amore, but then Kevin Owens won it back, and then Tyler Breeze beat him, but then Kevin Owens won it again. So Kevin Owens kept on winning the belt. Like he would lose the belt, and then he would keep on winning in my universe. So it was pretty fucking hilarious watching that. Now SmackDown. SmackDown had some of the most fucked up feuds. So Layla was a little whore on SmackDown because in 2 different feuds, she was like with Sheamus, and then she decided to go with Jimmy Uso. Like, you know, she just couldn't decide what she wanted. Jimmy Uso got a singles push in my thing. He betrayed Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso betrayed Jey Uso, and he was facing base Mark Henry for the Intercontinental title.
Okay.
So we had that little nugget right there. But my favorite feud by far on Universe Mode that I played was Undertaker versus Goldust.
Oh, what the fuck?
And it was pretty much Undertaker being a dick to Goldust the whole time. It was fucking great. Like Undertaker would freaking low blow Goldust after every match. I was like, what the fuck is this? And the fans were booing Undertaker, and he's getting ready to face Seth Rollins. But my favorite scene was like Undertaker. It was after a submission match at Extreme Rules. Undertaker's on the ground and he's like holding his leg, and Goldust goes to check on him, and then Undertaker goes and low blows Goldust. And then he gets up and starts doing jumping jacks.
What?
I was like, oh my God, man.
What the fuck? Oh, that's great. That is great.
It was 5 stars, my friend. It was 5 stars all the way.
I can just hear fans screaming about Paige and Eva Marie if that actually happened for an entire year.
Yeah, poor Emma, dude. She didn't get any love on it. It was just terrible. But yeah, that was Universe Mode for the first year that I simulated, and you know I gotta say, man, it was fun. Like it was crazy. It was cool. The only input I have is that I can't vacate the champions. I don't know why. They won't let me for whatever reason. So. Can someone comment on the show? Because I want to know if comments are disabled. If they are, someone tweet me if you can't comment on the show. Because like YouTube says all comments are disabled, and I just want to know if you guys can comment on the show. That's all I care about, because that's kind of dick and balls if you guys can't comment on the show. But tweet me at JustOver68 or comment down below your thoughts on WWE 2K16 Universe Mode or anything like that. So, anyways, Michael. That was Universe Mode. Doesn't that sound more entertaining than WWE today?
Yes, I would pay to watch that. I would go see that live. Honestly, like that Kalisto Cesaro feud, that Undertaker Goldust feud. Now that's television. That's work rate right there. You can't afford to miss that.
And the WrestleMania, and then you know what's funny? The main event after WrestleMania, it was I kept the main event on there. Just because I was like, well, some guys are never going to be on there, so maybe they can build momentum off of this. So I kept main event on, and on main event, was it good? On main event, it was like John Cena Fandango, like I talked about, Undertaker versus Sting. Undertaker and Sting are going to wrestle on WWE main event on Ion TV, and then it was Daniel Bryan versus like Big Show, I think. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is a pretty great card for Raw. Why is like in all my episode of Raw is ridiculous. Yeah, that happened. That's fun. So I resetted my universe mode. Later today, when I get the chance, I'm gonna play 2K Showcase where unlock some people because I'm like most of you fuckers. I like to unlock shit. I don't like to fucking cheat. So I'm gonna go unlock some people and stuff like that, and play a little bit of that, so I can get Shawn Michaels in my universe mode and stuff, and then make my own rosters and decide my championship.
Sounds like a plan. That's what I like to do. Why spend $10 unlocking everything? Like, why even buy the game if that's the point? You gotta unlock everything. You gotta work for it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what are some of the wrestling news we could talk about here. Obviously, Del Rio coming back. What the heck happened to Michael? Michael disappeared. Oh, yeah, Michael disappeared. So, anyways, one of the topics I guess we're going to talk about today is Alberto Del Rio coming back to the WWE, and shit, man, like just kind of shocking people and surprising people. Oh, there you are, Michael. You came back.
Fucking technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties, yeah, that happens a lot here on the YouTube. You can't get anything correct sometimes with it, but Alberto Del Rio coming back to the WWE, surprising almost everyone. There was rumors that Del Rio was kind of talking with the WWE and stuff like that, but we didn't know when he was going to come back. Like, we didn't know if they were just like kind of like passing each other by. But at Hell in a Cell, with all the rumored names like Tyler Breeze, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, list can go on and on. The people who were going to face Cena, no one was saying Alberto Del Rio. So Del Rio was like one of the legitimate surprises in wrestling in 2015, something that you can't really get nowadays with all the dirt sheets and the rumor mills going on there. So pretty much Del Rio shocked everyone. We learned details on his contract, and keep in mind, he could be getting paid a lot more than this. He could being paid a lot less than this. But what's being reported is $1.45 million for a year with limited dates.
There you go. People are saying he sold out because he signed that contract. I'm like, well, if you were offered $1.45 million, a clean win over Cena in the U.S. title, you'd come back too, even if you were called racist.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give a fuck. Like, to me, I don't know if you heard the Team Hill podcast where we were talking about Lesnar and his thing. How Lesnar on his interview upsetted a lot of wrestling fans. Like, a lot of wrestling fans got really upset at Brock Lesnar and saying like, oh, how dare Brock Lesnar say that he doesn't love the business and he doesn't care about it. He just says it's a punch in, punch out. And I said to myself, like, if you wrestling fans love the business so much, why the fuck do you guys not jump into it? There's no excuse. Anyone can do it. If you look at the superstars nowadays, it's not hard to be a wrestler, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, it hurts. But if you love it so much, go do it yourself. Don't talk about how you love it. Go do it. I trained to be a wrestler before. It's the truth. I have. I trained it. I've done like freaking 90 matches in my life. Lost every single one of them to Japanese people, but had fun doing it. It's just not a career that I wanted to enter in. That's just simple as that. I'd rather do podcasting and talking and all this other stuff. Broadcasting, that's what I want to do. But yet, all these wrestling fans hate that Brock Lesnar is disrespecting the wrestling industry because he says, oh, I'm punching in and punching out. That's what I'm here to do. And I'm saying to myself, don't you motherfuckers think the same way about your job that you work now? Would you say, like, if you work at a clothing store, that's a disrespect to the clothing industry because you don't care and love for the clothing? Or anyone who works a restaurant job, wouldn't you say that's a disrespect to the food industry because all you care about is your tips and punching in and punching out? Right? So right. I don't get where these wrestling fans have the right to say Brock Lesnar doesn't care about the sport of the industry, so he should get paid that much. Listen, motherfuckers, it's a fucking job. Yeah, he gets paid more than everyone else, but guess what? It's a fucking job. It's just like someone that probably gets paid more at your work. They probably don't like punching in and out, but they fuck, man. I get paid a lot more money. So, like, really, to be honest here, I want to know anyone here, and if you are listening to the show and you are one of these people, if you love your job, great. But a lot of you wrestling fans, you don't love your job. You don't love your 9 to 5 hour job. You don't. You just say you treat it as punching in, punching out. That's it. So I want to hear you professional wrestling fans tell me like about like fucking goddamn, you know, like saying that like, oh, hypocrisy in the business and stuff like that. Because you guys will probably do the same shit if someone offered you more money elsewhere. Like for example, I'm a cook. You know, I cook at my job. I get paid a lot more than some people, of course, because you know I'm cooking for the restaurant. I should get paid a little more. If another job came to me and said like let's just say one of my managers left and they went on to manage another restaurant, and they gave me a call saying, hey, are you still working at this place? And I go, yeah, I'm still working there. Look, we're going to offer you this much more money. I know you said you would never leave this place, blah, 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 but we're offering you this. What do you think I'm going to do? Do you think I'm going to sit there and twiddle my dick and say, oh, I'm going to stay here for less money? No, I'm going to go somewhere else for more money. That's what Del Rio's doing. He's going somewhere else for more money. That's the name of the game. This is the business of today's wrestling. It's all about the fucking money.
Exactly.
Like wrestling fans don't understand that. They feel like people need to be true to themselves and blah blah blah. Look, not everyone can make a living on the independents. Not everyone's like the Bullet Club and the Young Bucks and freaking AJ Styles who can survive off that shit. Someone like Del Rio who has pretty much an expensive taste, he needs to be in the WWE. He needs to be. Like for you wrestling fans saying he's a hypocrite, so what? Who cares? You're hypocrites yourself. You guys change your opinions every 2 minutes. So what does it matter? What's the matter about Alberto Del Rio with the WWE? Why are you guys calling him a hypocrite? Why? Why? Because you guys are hypocrites too. I'm not calling him a hypocrite. I'm grateful Del Rio's back because we need a Mexican star. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, personally, if they want a Mexican star, they could have just pushed Kalisto. I mean, it worked in your universe mode, right? No, but in all seriousness, yeah, I don't think he sold out at all. You're absolutely right. Like for an example, I got home from work at like 5 a.m. last night. Now, if I'm upset about that, it's like I don't love the business. I do it to get paid. It's as simple as that. And, you know, looking back on that, looking back at my life and looking how it'd be extremely hypocritical to say that I don't love my business or whatever, like you were saying about Lesnar, Del Rio didn't sell out at all. It's like, it's like I said earlier, it's $1.4 million, U.S. title, clean win over John Cena. You're going to take the offer if you're an independent wrestler working in AAA or NXT or Ring of Honor or wherever the hell else you are. It's as simple as that. Plus, he's getting paid from AAA or wherever the hell he works too. Like he's getting like a $500,000 contract still down in Mexico because he just holds the title there. So he's working like both days and both companies and something. So the dude's making money. And like you said, it comes down to money in this business.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, props to Del Rio.
No, the wrestling business is all about money, man. Like, you know, some people will do it for cheap because that's just how they are. But for the most part, if you're not a shark in the wrestling industry, you're not going to make it. You got to be a shark in this business to make it. That's just the bottom line. That's what I feel like some of the newer guys are missing is I just don't see them being these like vicious people backstage. I feel like they cower and they walk on eggshells when they should be the ones dropping the eggshells and making people afraid of them backstage. That's just me at least. Like I just feel like a lot of people are just like very, very cautious, and it just leads to, you know, them not being successful because they don't push for teams and stuff like that. Like I see some guys like Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. Those three probably get it. But I feel like Bray Wyatt, he actually feels like what he's doing is great and that he shouldn't change. Like he doesn't politic anything. He thinks it's fine for him to lose these matches all the time. And he just sits there and he says, well, I'm happy to be here. Originally here, I was Husky Harris, and that sucked. You know, like that's where I feel like Bray Wyatt sometimes where he's just kind of whatever about it. But anything else to really talk about with Del Rio besides we're happy that he's back and shutting up the Smarks?
No, I think we covered it all. I mean, that, and I'm glad to see Zeb Coulter back too, in that little fucking wheelchair he has or whatever, the hover round. It's hilarious.
The scooter. Yeah, the fucking motorized scooter. All right, so if you guys do not know, the Usos are returning soon, which is going to be a facelift for the tag team division. It feels like it's been forever without the Usos. Like it just feels like Usos are just like just like a thing. Like I just kind of forgot that like they existed, type of deal. But I do miss the Usos a little bit. You know, like I feel like they bring something to the tag team division. But like honestly, I think like a lot of the tag teams they've stepped up into Usos' absence. But I feel like WWE hasn't done a good job with them. I feel like the only tag team they've done a good job with is the New Day. But like the primetime players and all those other teams, I feel like they didn't do anything with them to make me care about them feuding with the Usos down the line.
Yeah, like the primetime players is the perfect example because like they were red hot for like a month or two, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna have the New Day go over again, which is awesome. Love the New Day, of course. And then we're just gonna have them go away, and Titus O'Neil is gonna randomly pop up on Raw to talk about breast cancer, and that's it. It's like, no, you have to keep these tag teams in relevancy without having them fight every week in 8-man tag matches. They need to rebuild the division in a better way.
Yeah, and Titus O'Neil is one guy where I just don't understand how he's not like at least like a singles main eventer or something. Because like he has the size, he has the charisma, he's celebrity dad of the year, he does charity work and all that other stuff. He's a nice dude in general. Like he feeds homeless people in his spare time. Like what the fuck? This guy is like a fucking Black John Cena. You motherfuckers don't like push him to anything. Like he's just like doing nothing whatsoever. Like, what the fuck? How's this guy not being featured more? Titus O'Neil feels like a guy that should be featured, but like I guess maybe age range he isn't. But yeah, the tag team division, like you said, needs a facelift. We need to add more teams to this tag team division and make this tag team division just a little bit more interesting. Because like really, to be honest here, once the New Day comes back, well, I mean, once the Usos come back, they're just going to feud with the New Day, and that's it. It's just going to be New Day Usos for like eight years, and then after they're just going to be like, fuck, dude. They're going to end. They're going to have a match every. It's like the Wyatt family Uso feud. Like the matches will be really awesome, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, well, the match rate, the work rate's good." Like I don't give a fuck about no damn work rate. I mean, we do on the unprofessional wrestling, we do care about work rate to an extent, but fuck, man, I don't want to sit through a match all the time, like freaking like seeing them kick out of the same spots every time and stuff like that. Like, oh my god, it's just annoying. And then like nothing comes out of it, but the Usos win.
Exactly. Oh, geez, I remember that feud with the Wyatt family. That was so, like, yeah, the matches were good and all, but I mean, who the fuck cares? Went on for months and months and months. Like you said, I'm scared that they're going to feud with a New Day until Jimmy Uso throws Jey Uso through a steel window and then feuds with Mark Henry for the Intercontinental title.
Yes, like the Universal mode. Or somehow Mark Henry will win the IC title from Kevin Owens. But it's kind of believable. Like, Mark Henry just bearing Kevin Owens and stuff. That'd be fucking great. Anyways, we also have poor Rusev getting injured once again. Rusev is once again hurt and stuff. He got injured at the main event tapings. I feel bad for Rusev. Like every time I feel like this guy's gaining momentum, like something fucked up happens. It's just always something fucked up happens. Like after losing to Cena, he kind of gets injured after that. And then after that, like he's gaining momentum against Dolph Ziggler. Like terrible momentum, mind you. But he's gaining momentum. And Lana decides to post on Instagram them getting married because she's a dumb hoe and doesn't respect her husband. Just saying, she doesn't respect Rusev and saying to herself, oh, well, it doesn't make sense if we don't post this because Rusev, you're kind of like doing your own thing and stuff like that, and I should probably respect it. You know, but no, Lana's an asshole and doesn't respect Rusev whatsoever. So Lana posted a photo that got leaked by TMZ, which I'm pretty sure she probably sent herself because it was probably a friend that works at TMZ, and she texted to them, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, a story. And so, yeah. So Rusev pretty much was in the doghouse, and then, you know, could have escaped it, but got injured again, and now Rusev is probably sidelined again at this point, which sucks because I really do like what Rusev brings to the table. I think he's a different type of athlete for the WWE. I felt like WWE missed like the big dollars with him, but I still think they can still salvage somewhat of his career and still make him somewhat worth watching on television. I mean, if you could get me to watch Rusev be a jealous boyfriend, well, after this guy was like saying "fuck America," I'm pretty sure this guy has some talent. This guy is a great actor. I love Rusev. He's awesome.
Mhm. Oh yeah, he's definitely like if you've ever watched Up Up Down Down, whatever it is, Xavier Woods' gaming channel. They invite people on there from wrestling, of course, and you get to see Rusev when he's not in character. And it's like you see him not in character and you go, "Wow, this guy is really good when he's on screen," because you'd never guess that he was a completely different person. And it's like looking at that, he's really underrated and he is a different athlete, and I hope they push him.
Yeah,
Bring him back to Paula.
he's just overall a good talent. Like he's a good find. He's a good talent. You know, like I felt like at first I was kind of getting bored of his shtick, but then afterwards when I kind of like was watching him as U.S. champ, I kind of liked him a little bit more. And then afterwards, I was just kind of like the feud with Cena you kind of forget about because like it was just like any typical feud with Cena. But then
Right.
once he got out of the gimmick, that was like my question about this guy was like, could he survive without the fucking gimmick of being like unstoppable, I hate USA monster? Like that was my one question about Rusev. Could he survive without that gimmick? And then later on with the stuff with Ziggler, yeah, it was terrible. But I
Right.
thought Rusev was some of the best parts of that. I thought he was hilarious on the microphone. I thought it was funny when they would post pictures of him like stalking Lana and he was on his fucking crutches backstage. Like this dude is great. Like I just love this dude and what he brings to the table. So I just think WWE, they have something special with Rusev. Like he's good enough to salvage the career that he should have had. Like he should have been monster heel, great and everything like that. But I still think that he's talented enough to salvage a career and hopefully do big things.
Oh, jeez. When you talked about the crutches, that made me think of what they should do is they should book him like they do with Ron Simmons every now and then when something crazy happens and he goes, "Oh, damn." What they should do is they should have like all these couples on scene, like, getting all lovey-dovey and close to each other. And then when they leave the area, the camera cuts to Rusev looking all sad sitting on his crutches. And they should have that happen every week.
Depressed emo Rusev. That was
Yes.
oh god, WWE. All right, so what else? This week of wrestling is kind of the Authority has fitness goals.
Definitely. Hold on, I need to ask your opinion because I watched your Q&A and I've been watching other people's reviews on Raw and Hell in a Cell and shit like that. I know you're a Roman Reigns fan, and so am I. And I want to know what's your opinion on him going for the title against Seth Rollins.
I like it. I like it, and I feel that it's something that the WWE needs to do because Seth Rollins literally has gone through everyone at this point, and they kind of have kept Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at bay, surprisingly. Because normally at this point in time, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns would have happened in the summer and stuff like that, and then this would be a refeud in the fall. But WWE has done a good job kind of keeping it at bay. Because like seriously, like after WrestleMania, you would think the first feud right off the bat for Seth Rollins as champion, oh, he's facing Roman Reigns first. But now they kind of kept it at bay. Like, yeah, sure, Roman Reigns had that shot in the Fatal 4-Way match, but for the most part, they kind of built it up in a decent way. I would say, like, Seth Rollins' world title reign has been somewhat forgettable. It's just been a bunch of like lame wins here or there, and really, it's not Seth Rollins' fault; it's more of the booking fault. But like a lot of the wins are just lame, and a lot of his title defenses are just kind of and like it's just some of his feuds are just kind of dreadful to kind of sit through. So it's just like whatever about it. But with Roman Reigns, it's just like because like they kind of have been building it up where you're supposed to feel bad for him because every time he comes so close, something happens to him from winning the title. So they did a good job keeping it away for a little bit. At this point, I feel like they're not going to pull the trigger, which they should, because I feel like if they don't pull the trigger now and they keep on giving Roman Reigns more sympathy, it will just get fans more annoyed and turn off the product instead of like saying, oh, well, this helps the product because Roman Reigns can wait till Mania. But honestly, I don't think you do any Dean Ambrose heel turn. That's just stupid. Keep Dean Ambrose as a face. Keep Dean Ambrose as Roman's bro for as long as you can. Do not make Dean Ambrose Roman's bro, and then destroy it. No, keep them bros as long as you can because it would make no sense in the storyline to me because Roman Reigns was 100% behind Dean Ambrose when Ambrose was going for the championship. You never saw Roman Reigns falter. Roman Reigns was chill with Ambrose. I don't see what's the point of Ambrose's character, who shows no sign of jealousy whatsoever when it comes to Roman Reigns, to freaking turn on Roman Reigns and be the guy to beat him down and cost him the championship. No, if anything, I say you kind of give us a tease of Roman Reigns as champion, and you pull the trigger. You have Roman Reigns win at Survivor Series, and then you have Sheamus cash in to win the championship. So that way you can kind of be like, yeah, Reigns finally won it. You got that little taste to see how the crowd will react, but then you take it away and have Sheamus cash it in, and so on and so forth. Or you don't even do that, and you just have Reigns go on and just have a championship reign until WrestleMania 32. Because I feel like if Ambrose turns on Reigns, it has to be a little bit later on. It has to be something Roman Reigns does that pisses off Dean Ambrose and ruins the bromance that they have. You know, like to me, I can't see the bromance ending because Roman Reigns is about to win the title, because that's kind of dickish if you ask me, because Roman Reigns was on Dean Ambrose's side the whole time, but yet the IWC will boo Roman Reigns and cheer Dean Ambrose, even though in the storyline sense you should be booing Dean Ambrose because he's a dick for being jealous, and it makes no sense. That's why I feel like a heel turn for Dean Ambrose just wouldn't work out, because like to me, I just feel like their bromance has to end like sometime next year. I don't feel like a Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose feud needs to happen right away. I'm not clamoring for it. I'm not saying I need it. I just feel like if they did it now, it would just be a waste of both of these men's time, because it'll just be a filler feud for Dean Ambrose and a filler feud for Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally do. Like, they totally shouldn't switch them over. I was thinking about how you worded it. It's like Ambrose would be such a dick to turn on him. Like, no, they shouldn't turn him heel. And I completely agree. Like, I think pulling the trigger and then finally having Sheamus get the briefcase off of Sheamus. That's like the biggest thing I'm getting out of this. And then like he wins it, Sheamus loses it somewhere down the line. Roman finally gets his moment at WrestleMania. Hopefully not against Sheamus. So like hopefully Sheamus loses.
It'll be Cena. Like I just feel you either do one or two options that will kind of get fans re-energized with the product and maybe watch it again. I know everyone's gonna be like, "What? Roman Reigns is champion?" But seriously, other people, you guys are not the only people. You IWC, I hope you realize this. Other wrestling fans out there, and I feel like this will help re-energize the product a little bit more if you do something fresh. You need a new champion coming out of Survivor Series. Look, Seth Rollins' reign, it's been a disaster. They haven't built him up as the heel that he should be. You know, when Seth Rollins was a heel, like curb stomping Dean Ambrose through cement, that's the heel Seth Rollins should be. This maniacal bastard that is just like destroying people to get what he wants and stuff. Yeah, he has help, but he doesn't need it all the fucking time. He can just destroy people because he's that damn good. And you're pissed off because not only does he have all this backup, but he's so fucking good you just can't fucking stand it. Like, they needed to make him like Triple H light in a way, like Triple H light, but instead they made him more like JBL Diet, like Diet JBL, where it's just like, oh God, he won again. But it's not like JBL when he used to win, where you're like, fuck, JBL won again, because JBL was kind of good. And so, like, JBL wouldn't always need help, but, like, JBL would find ways to win where you're just, like, pissed off because he would hit a clothesline out of nowhere. It's kind of just like, oh, fuck, Seth Rollins won, whoop-de-doo and stuff like that. He's like a diet JBL when it comes down to it with this heel title reign. So I feel you go one or two options. You have Reigns win the belt, and then you just kind of give Reigns a lengthy run to see what he can do. You know, like, everyone said, yeah, he should win it at WrestleMania. But really, how many times has a champion defended successfully at WrestleMania? That's also a feat in itself, is defending the championship successfully at WrestleMania. So to me personally, I'm fine with Roman Reigns, winning. And I don't know why I haven't seen any comments. I don't know, maybe people are not interested in commenting or anything like that. But like, I think comments may be disabled, which is going to piss me the fuck off. And I like when people can comment on the shows and get their thoughts and opinions on this. So this pisses me off. Someone tweeted me, I just saw the comments are disabled, because I really want to know. But yeah, you have to give Reigns the title. You have to pull the triggers right now, right there. You either go with him to WrestleMania and have him defend the championship, or you have it where Sheamus cashes in, and then you have Sheamus lose to Cena, thus leading to Reigns versus Cena. Because that's the only match Reigns has to face at WrestleMania. There's no other match.
And, you know, with all the rumors going around, that makes a lot of sense. Like, you know how at the live event that Cena's advertised to come back to, is advertised to face Sheamus. Well, I mean, if you booked it that way, where Sheamus, like Roman Reigns won it and then Sheamus cashed in, that advertisement would suddenly make sense.
Yeah.
And you could book the Cena Reigns.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think that they will do it too, because, like, I don't know if they still want to do Sheamus teaming with the Authority. And thank you, Aisha, for telling me that the comment section is disabled. So I'm sorry about that, guys. YouTube once again doing stuff. I have it enabled on my end. Like, it says it's enabled on my end. like in the control room, it says allow comments on this video, which pisses me off. So enable live chat. Yes, I have the enable live chat. I'm not gonna. Maybe if I turn this off, I don't know. This is annoying, but yeah. If you have Reigns win it now, like and then like kind of have it where the authorities kind of depressed by Seth Rollins, so Triple H sends out Kane, and not Kane. Triple H sends out Sheamus. Sheamus kind of like wins the title, and Triple H holds it high. It can start building the seeds for the Seth Rollins and Triple H feud that you could do at either WrestleMania or at SummerSlam type of deal. Kind of like where they replace Seth Rollins with their new boy Sheamus and all that other stuff. So, yeah.
Definitely good idea.
Yeah, so because to me, if they do the Ambrose heel turn, it just feels like fuck, dude. What are you guys doing? You guys are not trying anything original. Like a baby can fucking watch this shit, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like a little kid can just fucking predict what you're watching. Like that's sad. Like if you just go down the same predictable, boring ass vanilla route all the time. Like, no one's going to feel sympathy for Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose about this. They're just going to say, like, fuck, like, two of our favorites are never going to ever make it anywhere in this damn industry.
Right. No, and on the other side of that, like, I'd be happy if they pulled the trigger with Reigns right away, too, and they didn't even do the Sheamus thing. It's just, like, as long as Ambrose doesn't, like, become a fuck in the middle of it, and I'm really afraid for him because he's a guy I really want to see succeed, just like Reigns. But I feel like he's lost in the shuffle, and it's like, okay, we either turn him heel, which is a bad idea, or we let him fade into obscurity as like the bro,
But I feel like with the bro, if you're the bro of the WWE champion, that's not bad. I mean, he's still going to be featured every week.
True.
Like that's fine. That's fine being like that, and then later on you can actually build a good storyline from that. Reigns gets pissed off and kicks out the bro and says like, bro, I don't need you by my side. And you can plan a Roman Reigns heel turn if you want to do that. Or you can do like give it more options, give you more avenues to book off these storylines instead of saying, okay, we want you people to cheer Roman Reigns, you have to cheer him type of deal. No, give us options and avenues of where the story can go. That's what WWE used to do really, really well, is that when they would have a feud, you didn't know who could end up being the babyface or the heel at the end of the day because they would just have all these different fucking options. Like that was the thing. Like they had all these different options that people can choose from. So yeah.
Right.
So anyways, Aisha Boss asked us, what's y'all guys' opinions on this whole Ronda Rousey wanted the Divas title? That's pretty crazy if she wants the Divas championship. I didn't hear that rumor in the rumor mill. But if Ronda Rousey wanted the Divas title, I'm more than happy to welcome her in the Divas division. The only problem is like try to find someone that would beat her for that Divas championship.
Knowing WWE, they give it to Ronda Rousey and have her drop it to fucking Eva Marie just to piss people off.
Yeah, Eva Marie would do it, and Ronda Rousey would be like, she's a great fighter. I think Rousey, like, she definitely should have a WWE match, but I don't feel like her being Divas champion would be best for business because we know that she can beat a lot of women in real life. So then trying to sit there and tell us that like, oh yeah, like Paige or anyone has a chance at, I say Paige's name because I would love to see her get her arm broken. Fuck her. like it's so sad how we got to talk about this. How the fallen star that is Paige Knight, Soraya Paige, whatever the fuck you want to call her, Knight, that's fallen for Chase Oliver because this is depressing to me, Michael. So I would love to see that happen, but just to me personally, it's just like Rousey. I don't know, man. I think her being Divas champion, it's more of like it's another putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound type of situation. That is the Divas division. Like you getting shot 3 times and someone just putting 2 Band-Aids over you. That's what I feel like the Ronda Rousey is, just a Band-Aid. Yeah, people will be interested. People will watch. People will find it cool. But then afterwards, it's just like, what do you do from there? Because you trust WWE to book a believable storyline where there's a woman believable that could beat Ronda Rousey for the championship,
Right. Well, if I could see the IWC bitching about it too, like, oh, they're pushing a part-timer and not my Sasha or not my Charlotte or something really stupid. Like, I could see all the fans complaining about it, even though it'd be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your perspective.
Yeah, and I don't know why you guys can't send in comments because that's what makes these shows, Michael, is that fan interaction. So make sure you guys interact with me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68 because that's the difference between me and most YouTubers. I like interacting with people. As you can see with the fucking Day in the Life vlog, where I was interacting with all those random fans.
Oh geez, I still have to watch that video. Like I knew you uploaded it and you talked about it. I didn't have the time to watch it or anything. I watched your Q&A though.
I can understand. I can understand. I can understand if not. No, everyone's not going to sit down and watch. It's 40 minutes long. I don't blame people for not watching it now. Watch it when you have free time. Like
I didn't have time to watch your 40-minute video, but I had time to watch a 2-hour Q&A when I got home from work. So it's like, it's all about the timing.
It's bound to happen soon enough. But anyways, it's time to talk about a diva that I used to really, really like as an in-ring competitor, but just has really fallen off, and that's Paige. So, really, to be honest, here's my history page. Unlike most people who started watching NXT on the network, I actually watched NXT on Hulu. This is when I had my Hulu subscription, and I remember when I was watching like some show on Hulu, they showed suggestions NXT because I watched one episode of Raw, and so then all of a sudden they just suggested WWE stuff to me, and they showed me NXT, and I was sitting there and I was saying to myself, NXT, that's so around, but it looked different. It looked really, really different. So I watched it and I said, oh, this is they're developmental now. Oh, that's cool. And so I kept on watching it. But one girl caught my attention, minus Sasha Banks, was Paige. And I remember seeing Paige wrestle, and I said to myself, man, something unique about this girl. Is it her skin, the way she moves in the ring? I don't know. Like, I didn't have a crush on her or anything like that. I didn't think she was attractive, but she was easy to watch me in the ring. It was a long time for me to actually find a women's wrestler that could actually fucking wrestle for me. I was just saying to myself, like, holy fucking shit, this girl's good. And maybe it was the case with Paige that there was so much shit at that time in the Divas division that she was like a breath of fresh air when I was watching NXT, that I was just like saying to myself she was great. But maybe that was the case, that she was surrounded by so much shit that she just shined throughout that shit and stuff like that. But she was easy for me to watch. I liked watching her wrestle and everything like that. Like I was saying, you know, Paige is a good wrestler. She's one of my favorites right now. And I could believe when people would say, oh, I can't wait till Paige comes onto the main roster. Paige comes on the main roster. She wins the Divas title. And, you know, I'm happy with it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Good for Paige. She's doing a great thing in her career. And I was behind her. I was saying, you know what? You guys got to believe in Paige. She started botching in some matches, but I was still believing in her. I was still believing in Paige. Yeah, her heel turn was a debacle, but I was still believing in her. I was still into it. And you know what? I still like Paige. But then later on, when Paige started to become popular, these interviews are starting to happen. People want to interview her, and she's obviously, I would say, probably the IWC's favorite girl right now. Every guy loves Paige if you're in the IWC. Am I wrong on that one, Michael? Is she the favorite, or is it Charlotte Flair at this point?
Right. Oh God, Paige has fallen so far from grace when you talk about that. Like, all these memories that are from NXT, and how she debuted on the main roster, and she was doing so well, and she was something different, like you said. Like, it wasn't the look, it wasn't like how she talked or anything like that, or her character. It was just, she was different in a time where everything was shit. She comes in, wins the title, has some pretty decent matches, and it's like, wow, this girl is different. You know, it was the Revolution before the Revolution, and now it's like all of these new divas are coming on who are like more evolved and progressed, and like Paige gets so lost in the shuffle that I feel like they're turning her into AJ Lee Part 2, and it's just awful. Like, no, we're gonna make her the crazy one.
What I don't like is how much they've exposed Paige, and just how badly she does with exposure. In my personal opinion, I think Paige is like, I hate her because of Total Divas. I think she's one of the biggest douchiest characters on Total Divas. And not only that, I hate her because of her interviews, because she comes off as such a fucking entitled bitch, where it's just fucking shit. Calm down. Calm the fuck down. Like, and now, like you said, I think she, like so many divas have evolved. Like, she's almost like the prototype of what these divas want to be. Like, Triple H built her as a prototype, and then like he replaced her with like Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Becky, and fucking Bailey, and was like, these are the new versions of Paige. They're better, and they're not freaking milky white.
Milky white.
Like, you know, like that's what I feel like happened. Like, he just kind of replaced her, and it's just like Paige has fallen from grace, man. Paige used to be the IWC favorite. And now it's like Sasha Banks, I would say, is probably the new IWC favorite, which is sad to me because now all these people are going to jump on her bandwagon and say they love her, but they never did. So whatever. She can only wrestle. That's it. I look at Sasha Banks more. She's my future wife. It's going to happen, Michael. Gonna fucking. You know me. You know me. I have balls. Unlike most of us. I'll go when I meet her. I'll go down on one knee. Ask her if she will marry me. If she says no, I'm gonna be like, whatever. At least I tried. And I'll ask for an autograph.
Ask for an autograph.
I'll be like, Sasha, I got a serious question. And then I'll go down one knee. Will you marry me? And if she says no, ain't gonna be the end of the world. I'll be like, whatever, I tried.
Oh, jeez. I can just picture that happening at like a live event too, like some random fan asking her to marry her or whatever. See that blow up.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like the guy who tried to ask Sasha to marry. I'm pretty sure the wrestling fans would get behind me. They'll be like, yes, 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 and all that other stuff. So yeah, but you know, it will happen one day. It will. But yeah, Paige has fallen from grace. Anything else you want to talk about, man? Because we're running into the hour here, and I want to try to keep the show one of my shorter shows, unlike most people. So actually, people watch it. Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap this up?
No, I can't really think of anything else. But I mean, this is definitely one of the better episodes, especially since I didn't decide, play the Cena theme and ruin everything again.
And my friend is not playing and calling me to ask for fantasy football advice. But if you guys want to hear me talk about sports, go check out Chase and Matt Talk Sports episode number 2. You guys ask for sports content, but yet you don't check it out. So check that out if you can. Please and thank you. Michael, where could the good people find you?
Alrighty, well, I decided to start a new podcast of my own. It's not on this channel. I use my own personal thing for Hangouts, but you gotta check me out on my Michael Future thing. It's a podcast I posted in the Treehouse. You're probably able to find it. I talked about Roman Reigns the other day and how I really like the guy and how I think he's improving and how I really wish that they put the title on him and everything. And then I have my other channel where my buddies and I get together. It's called Midcard Madness, where we review Raw and review pay-per-views every now and again. And check it out. It's different. Our camera quality shit because I'm unprofessional. But hey, some people like it.
Yes, and we're unprofessional because the comment section of YouTube did not want to access. I apologize for all of those people because I really did want to get some questions and your guys' opinions and thoughts. This is not really a Q&A type of thing. This is more of like you guys ask us like, hey, what's your opinion on this and stuff like that, or like wrestling news that you heard about, and we kind of break it down in our own sense. But another slow week in professional wrestling, to be expected. So anyways, you guys can follow me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68. SoundCloud.com/ChaseOliver68, and make sure if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And when the comment section is able, make sure you guys comment down below some of your favorite parts of the show. What did you like and blah blah blah. You guys get the rest. What do you guys think of Paige? What do you think about Roman Reigns winning the title, Del Rio coming back to WWE, and WWE 2K16? What? And that's the bottom line because Michael and Chase said. So remember, it's all about the work rate. Fuck actual storytelling. Unprofessional wrestling show. We are not professionals, damn it. We're unprofessionals. See you next Friday, guys. Peace.
Fuck TNA.